When commercial shipments come into Canada either by air, highway, or sea, sometimes they aren't released at the first port of entry, also known as a frontier port, but be released at an inland location, in most cases at a bonded warehouse before being released to its final destination in Canada. These types of shipments are called in-bond shipments, and highway carriers in particular will need to be bonded by a surety company or with a single-trip bond in order to take these loads to the warehouses. To learn how to become a bonded Canadian highway carrier, click the link at the top of the video now. When unreleased shipments arrive at these bonded warehouses, warehouse operators are required to electronically report the arrival of these shipments to Canada Border Services Agency, or CBSA for short, and they can do this by sending what's called a Warehouse Arrival Certification Message, or WACM for short, using CBSA's release notification system. In this Cross-Border 101 video, I'll explain what a Warehouse Arrival Certification Message is, its history and importance in cross-border trade into Canada, how to get registered and certified as a warehouse operator, and how to transmit warehouse arrival messages to CBSA using BorderConnect. So, let's get started. Warehouse Arrival Certification Messages, WACM, are a type of electronic notification used in supply chain and logistics management when importing bonded goods into Canada and to be released inland. These messages are part of the Electronic Data Interchange System, which is a standardized method for exchanging business documents electronically between different parties and organizations. The purpose of the Warehouse Arrival Certification Messages is to provide information about the arrival of goods or products at a sufferance warehouse. These messages are used to inform CBSA about the arrival of inbound shipments and to ensure the smooth flow of goods through the supply chain when importing into Canada. Some common information that may be included in Warehouse Arrival Certification Messages include the shipment information, contents of the shipment, carrier information, arrival and receipt confirmations as well. Previously, under the Customs Act, inland bonded warehouse operators would have to manually file what's called a transfer of liability with CBSA, transferring the bonded shipment into the care of the warehouse before it could be released to its final destination in Canada. Fast forward to 2015, and CBSA released a memorandum announcing new electronic reporting requirements for sufferance warehouses, which includes the transition from the transfer of liability process to transmitting what's called Warehouse Arrival Certification Messages using the release notification system. Electronically arriving bonded goods using WACM is mandatory, and failure to properly arrive goods may result in a CBSA Administrative Monetary Penalty, or AMPS for short. To register as a sufferance warehouse, you must first apply for a sufferance warehouse license with Canada Border Services Agency. This can be done first by visiting CBSA's website and reviewing the memorandum D4-1-4, which lays out all the information and requirements needed to apply for a license. A link to this memorandum will be provided in the description below. Once all the information has been reviewed, a Form E400 will have to be downloaded and filled out. It's important to review the instructions on the second page of the E400, as CBSA has provided detailed information as to what information is required for each field. A link to download the Form E400 will also be provided in the description below. In the E400 form, detailed information about the company and warehouse will have to be provided. Starting from the top, the company name, business number, office address information, the name and titles of contacts, as well as the phone number will have to be provided. Next, surety company and guarantee company information will have to be provided. So, select if the bond is issued by a surety company or the Government of Canada here. Then, the name and address of the guarantee company, as well as the bond number, amount of coverage, the warehouse address, warehouse operator, if the warehouse is owned or leased, the distance from the closest customs office in kilometers, the name of the leaser if applicable, and below, the type of goods to be warehoused at the facility. Next, below, enter the type of cargo control documents the goods will be warehoused. For example, by using either an airway bill, rail billing, marine bill, or a freight forwarder house bill. Then, enter the Canadian ports of entry the warehouse will be servicing, the modes of transportation from foreign countries, and the modes of transportation serviced to the warehouse. Then, enter the number of bays or loading doors your warehouse supports, and check what the goods are for here. Once all the information has been properly filled out, the warehouse operator will need to sign the form, enter their title, and date it. The section below can be ignored as it's not required to be filled out by the warehouse applicant. When applying with a signed Form E400, be sure to provide the following as well: a blueprint or facsimile of the entire building, information on the type of fire safety equipment, a site plan of the property showing the location of the warehouse, to name a few, and much more. For a full list of required documentation and information that will need to be provided with your application, visit Memorandum D4-1-4 on CBSA's website and scroll down to Section 6 of the document. A link to this document will be provided in the description below. The application and its supporting documents must be submitted physically to its corresponding CBSA office. A link to a directory of CBSA offices will be provided in the description below. The review process can take up to 4 weeks, and a CBSA site visit may also be required before being approved. After the Sufferance Warehouse application is approved, you'll be provided a license number, and other information will also be sent to the applicant, including a 4-digit Sufferance Warehouse code unique to that warehouse, which is also known as a sublocation code. It's important to review CBSA's requirements on maintaining your warehouse license and also for making any updates or revisions to your warehouse license. The link to these requirements will be provided in the description below. After your initial warehouse application is finalized and approved, the next step is to register for BorderConnect Warehouse Arrival Certification Message. You can do this by visiting BorderConnect.com and clicking Signing Up. When signing up, be sure to select the type of service you're registering for. As a warehouse, you'll want to select ACI notices and RNS for warehouses, and then finish the remainder of your registration. And after your BorderConnect account has been verified and approved, you'll be emailed an ACI and an RNS registration document, which can easily be filled out, signed, and then emailed back to the BorderConnect team. After that's been done, you'll be informed that your BorderConnect account is enabled, and you'll be free to start arriving shipments at your warehouse to then become a fully compliant Sufferance warehouse. Arriving and managing shipments using BorderConnect as a warehouse is extremely easy and user-friendly. So let's learn how warehouse arrivals work in BorderConnect. Once you're logged into BorderConnect, to send a new warehouse arrival message, hover over PARS Shipments and click Send New RNS Arrival. You'll then get to the Send RNS Arrival Request for Canadian Shipment page. Now, starting at the top, enter the cargo control number that's arrived at your warehouse. You can also send arrivals for multiple cargo control numbers by entering the numbers separated by commas. Now select the warehouse sublocation code below, which in most cases is already set to your default sublocation code, so you can leave this field as is. So now go below and set the arrival date and time. After all the arrival details have been entered, click the button at the top, Send Arrival Request to CBSA, where you'll transmit the arrival request and be brought to the Arrival Request search page. On the Arrival Request search page, you can see a history of the most recent arrival requests or warehouse arrival certification messages you've sent to CBSA. Once your arrival request is accepted by CBSA after approximately 10 minutes, it'll be put into a release state in most cases. Other common responses from CBSA include cannot arrive, goods already released and acquitted, which means that the arrival request has been rejected, but the cargo control number has already been released. Another common response is arrival office does not match release office, which means that the release office entered in the arrival message does not correspond to your sublocation code. You can also view more details on your arrivals and even print your RNS arrival report. To do this, click into an arrived cargo control number, where you'll be brought to the RNS arrival request details page. Here, you can view additional details on your arrival, view your arrival request history below, and also print your RNS arrival report above, where you can store the warehouse arrival certification message report for your records. To learn more about how BorderConnect warehouse arrival software works, visit the BorderConnect support wiki at wiki.borderconnect.com or the BorderConnect WACM product page. The links will be provided in the description below. It's important to note that this video is not official guidance on registering as a Sufferance warehouse or on warehouse arrival certification messages. It's only meant to provide brief information on these topics, and it's recommended to reach out to CBSA or a border consultant for official guidance. Warehouse arrival certification messages are the backbone of bringing bonded shipments into Canada. So whether you're a business owner, manager, or part of a supply chain team, streamline your operations with BorderConnect WACM and position your organization for success in today's fast-paced shipping environment. So start your journey to level up your cross-border operations today. Hi, I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you'd like to watch more videos like this, check out these videos here or subscribe below. If you're not already signed up to BorderConnect, you can sign up today for a free 45-day trial using special promo code EASY45. Thanks for watching.